Hello, welcome to the video. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at section 4.6, where we're going to be looking at arithmetic sequences. So sequences mean that we have a series of numbers or a series of values in order, and we have to be able to figure out the pattern of it. It just so happens that everything that we're going to be looking at in this lesson is going to be arithmetic. All right, arithmetic means that the pattern is you're either adding or subtracting each number by the same value. What we need to do when we are trying to identify the pattern of an arithmetic sequence is we have to be able to find what is called the common difference between each value in the sequence. So going from the first value here, like 5 to 10, the common difference between this value here, 10, and this value here, 5, 10 minus 5 is 5. And then in order to make it arithmetic, it has to be this consistent the same way throughout the entire course of the sequence. So 15 minus 10 is 5, 20 minus 15 is 5. So far they are all the same. That means that in future numbers, you're going to have a common difference of plus 5. So the next value would be 25. The value after that would be 30. 35, and so on and so forth, because you would tack on a value of 5 from each one of those values of the sequence. Sometimes your common difference is a positive number, like this one, or sometimes it's a negative number. So in this particular example, they're asking us to find the next three terms of the arithmetic sequence. Since they're telling us that it's arithmetic, that means it must have a common difference. If it doesn't have a common difference, then it is not arithmetic. So looking at the first two numbers, I got negative 14 minus a negative 7. That gives me a negative 7. Do I get that with negative 21, negative 14? Yep, negative 7. Finally, I'll just, to make sure, negative 28 minus negative 21 is negative 7. So what we are doing is essentially you're subtracting 7 to find the next value. So negative 28 minus 7 is going to be negative 35. Then the second term that we're looking for will be subtracting by negative 7, or subtracting by 7, I'm sorry. So I got minus 42, and then the last one would be minus 49. So these are the next three values of this sequence. So looking at these ones here, I'm sure you'll be able to figure out one. Let's look at 2 and 3. So we got decimals here that kind of complicates things, but again, we still are doing the exact same thing we did in the first example. I'm taking 0.6 and subtracting it by 0.2, I got a 0.4. So I got 1 minus 0.6, I got 0.4. All right, so that means it's a positive number, so we're going to be adding 0.4 to find the next value in the sequence. So 1.4 plus zero point 0.4 is going to be 1.8. Add 0.4 to 1.8, I get 2.2. And adding 0.4 to that one, I get 2.6. All right, now we look at fractions. Here, maybe what you can do is, if you'd like to, and convert them to decimals, you can. So this is like 4, this is 3.75, this is 3.5, and here this is 3.25. So maybe it's easier for us to look at it as in decimal form, and then we'll look at those values in the sequence in decimal, and then we'll convert them back to fractions later, because that's what they were in the original problem. So 3.75 minus 4 looks like it's a negative 0.25. So if I go 3.5 minus 3.75, yeah, I get negative 0.25. So we are essentially subtracting 0.25 to, so my next term would be 3, subtracting 0.25. So now I got 2.75, and then subtracting 0.25, I get 2.5. So converting it back to a fraction, I get 3 comma 2 and 3/4, and then finally I get 2 and 1/2. In this particular example, they are asking us to find, or does this graph represent an arithmetic sequence? And it's asking us to explain. So right off the bat, all I'm looking at is the x values. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Does that have a common difference? The answer is yes, because it's 1, because 2 minus 1 is 1, 3 minus 2 is 1, 4 minus 3 is 1. So my x values have a common difference. Do my y values have a common difference? 12 minus 15 is negative 3. 9 minus 12 is negative 3. And 6 minus 9 is negative 3. So to answer the question, is this arithmetic? Yes, because both x and y have a common difference. So the x had a common difference of 1, y had a common difference of negative 3. Now the last thing that we're going to look at is it says being able to write equations for an arithmetic sequence. So sometimes these different patterns, we can write a formula for that, which then allows us to figure out any nth term of the sequence. Nth term means you are just tacking on what each value of the sequence is. So like the first value of the sequence is called a sub 1. Then you got a sub 2, a sub 3, a sub 4, and it keeps going on and on until you want to find an a sub n. All right, so n is whatever spot it is in the sequence. So the formula that you're going to use to find any a sub n in this case is going to be the first value in the sequence, a sub 1, and it's going to be added by n. So if you're trying to find the fourth term in the sequence, you'd put this as 4, and that means that n is 4 over here, and then d is represented as the common difference. So we find, as long as we know the common difference, and as long as we know a sub 1, we can write an equation for an arithmetic sequence. So here it says write an equation for the nth term of the arithmetic sequence, and it says 14, 11, 8, and 5. So what we need to do first, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write this out. 14, 11, 8, and 5. So this is my a sub 1, this is my a sub 2, this is my a sub 3, and this is my a sub 4. I need to find the common difference. 11 minus 14 looks like it's negative 3. 8 minus 11 is negative 3. And 5 minus 8, which is negative 3. So my common difference is negative 3, and my a sub 1 is 14. So to use the formula, it's going to be a sub n is equal to a sub 1, which is 14, plus n minus 1 times it by d, which is negative 3. So now to write this out, what you're going to do is I'm just going to distribute the negative 3. So my equation is going to be a sub n is equal to 14 minus 3n plus 3. And then I combine my like terms here. So a sub n is going to be equal to negative 3n plus 17. So that is our equation for the nth term. So from here, they asked to find the value of a sub 50. So all we're going to do now is say, all right, a sub 50 is going to be equal to negative 3 times it by, and now n is 50, and it gets added to 17. So going here, negative 3 times 50 gives me a negative 50, so I get negative 150 plus 17. Combine those together, and that means that a sub 50, which means the 50th uh, spot in the sequence, is going to be a negative 133. And that is being able to solve arithmetic sequences. Hope this helps. Till next time.